Orchestrate tab, which is also part of Pipeline Overview. So if you've already set up ingestion, you've already set up transformation, then Orchestrate is the final part of the trifecta you'll need to configure to set up your data pipelines. So ingestion makes sure that your data is being pulled into Dalgo. Transformation ensures that your data is being transformed or modified into a state where it can be visualized, analyzed, or whatever you want to do with it in the future. But for your analysis and visualizations to remain up to date, it's very important that the ingestion and transformation happen at regular frequencies. So, suppose you're updating your data sources every 2 days, you'll want these pipelines to run every 2 days as well, so that the latest data can be pulled in and transformed. And the orchestration tab is where you will do that. So you can see a lot of existing pipelines which have already been created over here. And the way you'd set up something like this is by clicking on the new pipeline button, and a form comes up. So you can set up a name for the pipeline. In this case, I can just put something down, and you'll pick your connections. Now over here you can pick multiple. So suppose you have multiple connections set up for all of your Google Sheets, you can select all of them in one place. And in a lot of cases, the transform tasks, you can just let it remain on simple, the default settings. And in case there are some more custom things you want to do, you can select in particular which DBT commands you want to run. Now, if you remember, we configured these DBT commands in the transform tab as well, and I showed you how you can add new tasks. So you can do that over here as well. You can configure those tasks and then you can choose which ones run. And if you want to reset them once you've selected a bunch, just go back to what is default, then you'll see these four. So it just runs dbt clean, dbt deps, run, and then test. And if you leave it on simple, that's exactly what will happen. Another option is run all tasks. What this will do is all of these tasks you see over here that we configured in the transform tab will be run. Now, coming to the schedule, this is where the magic happens. So you can decide how frequently you want your data to run. So daily is an option, weekly as well as manual. Now, if you set up manual, this essentially means that you'll have to come and you'll have to say run pipeline every time you want the pipeline to run. In most cases, people configure it to run daily or weekly. So if you choose daily or weekly, then what you can do is pick the exact time of date in the Indian time zone that you want this task to run. So for the case of our example, let's just go with 2:10 in the morning and save changes. So you'll create the pipeline, give it a second to create. And there we go, the pipeline's been created, and it'll reflect in a bit. Now, when you have a pipeline already created, you can run it manually by clicking the run button. And there are a few more options here, which are to delete your pipeline or to edit the configuration of the pipeline. Now, you'll see the run status of your pipelines as well. They either ran successfully or they failed. Now, if they have failed, then you can see the logs to determine why they have failed. So you'll see that it ran successfully a few times and then it's failed. So for you to figure out why exactly it's failed, you can click on the logs button over here. But again, for most people who are non-technical especially, these logs are not clearly understandable. Another option you have is to click on AI summary. So this will look through the logs and tell you what has gone wrong in normal human language, so you can understand and fix the issue. And that's it for the Orchestrate tab. And once your pipelines are all configured with the ingest, transform, and orchestrate tab, you can come to pipeline overview as well. Now, this will show you all your pipelines and their historical runs. So it shows you out of the total number of runs this pipeline has had, how many have been successful, and you can visually see which ones failed as well. So you can see that over here we had a pipeline which failed and then it was fixed and it ran successfully again. And for each of these, you can check the logs if you want to. And once you click the check logs button, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the logs come up. Now, again, for non-technical people, this will be difficult to understand, so you can just go back to the Orchestrate tab and view the logs there, and you'll have the option of an AI summary. So pipeline overview is just to give you a quick bird's eye look of, hey, what's broken, what might need fixing, how smoothly have the models been running historically. And that's been an explanation of the orchestration tab. And I hope you understand how to set up and configure the entirety of your pipelines now. Thank you.